Welcome back to the Michigan Business Beat on Michigan Business Network. Jeffrey Mosher sitting in for Chris Holman on the road. We're at the Lansing Mall, West Lansing, and we're on hand at the Socialight Society at the Lansing Mall. Dr. Renée Canady, and she is a former Ingham County Health Officer and current CEO, Michigan Public Health Institute. Doctor, welcome to the Michigan Business Beat.
Thank you so much, Jeff.
Excellent. So we're on hand today. It is a releasing and a book signing for Room at the Table, a leader's guide to, let us know, what is it a leader's guide to?
Sure. It's a leader's guide to advancing health equity is what we say in public health, and justice, but those are really broad constructs as well.
Wonderful. What made you decide to write this book at this time?
Well, I spend a lot of time encouraging early career folk to lead, to advance change, to lead up, to lead in their peer group. And it actually was them, my mentors, my students saying, Dr. Canady, you should write all this down. We can't keep up with these things that you are telling us to consider. And so an opportunity came to me to publish. And so I do this in honor of that next generation and also my peers who I am still trying to provoke to lead well and lead better.
Tremendous. So what surprised you most when you got into public health?
Well, there is such a broad span of what public health touches. I know there's a saying that says, if you're a hammer, everything looks like a nail. Well, if you're a public health professional, everything looks like public health. Where we live, where we sleep, where we work, where we play, where we pray, where we dine, it all is impacted by public health. And by public health, we really think about well-being. Like, how satisfied are you in your life and with your life? And what is our responsibility to assure that you have the conditions for good health? That's what we focus on at the Michigan Public Health Institute, and it's what I focused on throughout my career.
Excellent. Now, how would you explain equity, and why is it so important to understand?
I think it's important because we're sort of taught, and dare I say socialized, that equality is the goal. We want to treat everyone the same. It's not fair if everyone's not treated the same. But I argue that sometimes the most unfair thing we can do is to treat everyone the same. Everyone's needs are different. I parent 3 adult men, so I'm kind of done parenting them. But when they were growing up, if I had treated them all the same, it would have been pretty chaotic because they needed different things. And so my responsibility as a parent, as a professional, as a member of this community is to build relationships that honor where people are and respond to the needs that they have.
Tremendous. What's the biggest thing that you want folks to take away from this book?
I want people to realize they're a leader. It's not about the position or the title, but most of us have been positioned in life to influence someone. It may it may be your next door neighbor. It may be a stranger standing in line at Meijer. But can we say and build dialogues that advance change, that are healing? Right now, we've got so much angst and rancor across difference. How can we see difference truly as a strength and a value of our community? And how can you be the leaders that pull that out?
Excellent. And what would you say to someone who doesn't see themselves as a leader?
Those are the best leaders. Sometimes people that are sort of caught up in, well, I'm the one and I can be the one. We advance at MPHI a core value called servant leadership. And it really is about being focused on others and not on what we're accomplishing, but what are we doing to help others be their best self? And I think that's how you lead when you're trying not to lead.
Excellent. What makes a great leader? I think we can dig a little deeper on that.
Yeah, I think humility. I think courage. Because right now there are a lot of things going on. It's like, are you going to say it? No, you say it. No, you say it. So having some courage, being bold, taking some risk. I often tell my colleagues, yeah, I'm nervous and afraid to do it as well, but we're at a point in our society, and I would dare say in our nation, where we need people to do it scared, do it nervous, and you'll be finding that there are many people in the room that are feeling the same way. Do we have to be that harsh? Did we consider the needs of this community? If we all speak up in that space, when your heart is beating, like, do I really want to say this, then that means you're the one that's supposed to speak.
Wonderful. And how has health equity landscape changed in recent years or just since the pandemic even?
Well, we're coming up December 1 on World AIDS Day. And I began my career in the early 80s when we were first dealing with this thing called HTLV3. We didn't know exactly what it was. And the things that we found was it was much easier for us to alienate into other people that we didn't understand. And the lessons that we learned there, that it is about embracing and drawing people in, are the same lessons that we applied in COVID. How do we, when we say, oh, you should social distance, and you should all stay in your homes, but if you're a multi-generational family and you only have 2 rooms, 2 or 3 bedrooms, then staying at home is much more challenging. So how do we begin to respect the different needs that we all have so that we can be a part of a solution that makes sure everyone can be their absolute healthiest, best selves in this country?
As we're a statewide broadcast, what's the footprint service territory for MPHI?
We like to describe ourselves as nationally engaged and located in Okemos, Michigan. Of course, now we're in a hybrid space where many of our employees work throughout the country. But we're, of course, invested in the well-being of Michigan, but the lessons that we learn from partnering with national projects also help us be better for Michiganders.
Wonderful. And do you ever cross paths with MHA, the Michigan Health and Hospital Association?
Absolutely. MHA and Brian Peters and his team are very, very important partners of MPHI.
Tremendous. Well, Doctor, thank you so much for spending some time with the Michigan Business Beat today.
Absolutely. We thank you, and we thank your audience, because as goes business, goes the well-being of all of our citizens. So thank you, Jeff.
Excellent. And once again, we're at Socialight Society, Lansing Mall in the west end of the metro area. Dr. Renée Canady, former Ingham County Health Officer and current CEO of the Michigan Public Health Institute. Well, she's got a releasing and book signing going on this evening. We'll be back with more on the Michigan Business Beat on Michigan Business Network.